Hi, everybody. Welcome to Maker Monday. And as I've said in other Maker Mondays, there's been some really cool silver linings of 2020. In a year that has been nothing but crazy, there are some good things that happen. And one thing that I have learned from art educators over the many years that I've worked at Nasco is what connectors you are. And I love that you're so willing to connect with each other and connect students in ways that help make them better. And earlier in the season, we had Sandy Coleman do the Community Circle Project. Well, from there, Sandy and I have continued to connect, and she actually connected me to today's guest. And ironically, about, a week ago, our STEAM and STEM coordinator or customer engagement manager, Jordan Nelson, sent me an article and said, "Oh my gosh, have you seen sandwich art, Dad? It's so cool." And I'm like, well, guess what? He's our next guest on Maker Monday. So I would like to introduce you to David Laferriere. And I want to overthink his last name because it's amazing. He is the Sandwich Art Dad. And I just think today is not only just a super great story, but also one that could easily connect into a virtual learning situation. So David, thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy to see you again. And it's just been such a joy to work on this together. So I am going to turn the stage over to you, and you can tell us a little bit about how this phenomenon started and where it went. And then we'll have some time for question and answer at the end. There is a handout, everybody. So it's just a super basic Word document that has some links to it, a little bit of links to some bags and some markers, but mostly links to David's stuff, which will absolutely inspire you. So David, take over.
Hello, everyone. How you doing today? So I've been doing, I started doing these sandwich bags in 2008. I gotta look at my notes. It's been a while. So, and I did them for from May of 2007 until 2016 June. So my kids were in elementary school at the time, and I was already making them sandwiches. And these sandwiches, just your regular sandwiches, right? Just peanut butter jelly and so forth. But I wanted to have fun with my kids and also jumpstart my creativity in the morning. So I started to do these drawings on their sandwich bags, really simple. I had a Sharpie marker hanging around, and I just make the sandwich, put the sandwich in a bag, and then draw on the bag with the sandwich in it. And at first I didn't let them see me doing it because we would be eating breakfast together, and they would try to sneak a peek. And I always wanted it to be a surprise to them. As years went on, it was no longer a surprise, but it was still fun. I always told them, if you want me to stop, I'll stop. They never said stop. So I did it from elementary school till each of them graduated from high school. And I currently still do it, really, for all my fans that have seen them online, because they did go viral twice. So just looking at my notes here. So when I was doing it for my kids, the bags were just no more than 2, maybe at the most 5 minutes to do the bags, and that's probably both bags together, because hey, we need to get these kids out to school. And I'm gonna share my screen and show you some bags from the very beginning as I go through. Hold on. Isn't showing yet, huh?
No, no worries. Take your time. Always takes a minute to.
Here we are.
Should be right in the upper right-hand corner where you can show your screen.
Yep. No, I have to grant go to the webinar software to.
While you're looking for that, I can share though that everybody has the handout, so they will be able to click to the Flickr account. It also lists your Instagram account, which is very cool. At the end of today, you will get a follow-up email with the recorded session, and you will also get a survey that asks some questions as well.
So my screen's not showing, is it?
No, not yet. There you go.
Awesome. So these are my sandwich bags. Oop. Is it still showing? Oh, I see now. So I started with a chicken and a Sharpie marker and just black and white, and because that's all I had was a black Sharpie hanging around the house. And I found a red Sharpie marker and a purple one, and then I wanted to get white on there, and this white is actually a napkin that I cut. But these bags are all just like fun stuff, things that off the top of my head when I started in the morning, I really didn't think about it till I started the drawing. So, and these are all my early bags, and you know, there were times where I went on a class trip with my daughter, and I did a bag for me and a bag for her. And so these snowmen here, mine's on the left, hers is on the right, so that when we opened up our lunch, they were having a snowball fight in the middle here. So it's been you know, just lots of bags. So really the numbers of the bags, I have over 2,000 bags in this Flickr album that I have, and as you can see, there's lots of them. There's worms. There's, you know, we probably doing something in the summer over here. So these are summer ones. But it's always been like whatever like popped into my head, whatever maybe we were doing, whatever the holidays were. You can see, you know, turkey, New Year's, and so it was always just a lot of fun, and it's trying to scroll through these here. So at one point, my daughter had a lunch box that was had its own like container for the sandwich. So I couldn't put the sandwich in a bag and draw on the bag. So I drew on a piece of paper for her till that lunchbox fell apart. But these are just paper, same thing, Sharpie markers with, in this case, it's just colored pencils, playing around with it. And again, it's the same thing. It's just really quick drawings, their ideas. My reason for putting all these photos, for taking photos of the bags and putting them on Flickr was because my kids threw them out. So they're in lunch, they eat lunch, and there's sandwich junk inside that bag, so they would just throw it out. So I started taking a picture of them and putting them up onto Flickr. And at the time I worked at a newspaper, and it was, social media was just starting, and I knew enough to tag these, because I also knew I wanted to go back. I wanted to look for ice cream, chickens, worms, whatever it may be. I can go back and find these, because these are all just like pages of my sketchbook, really. They're just quick ideas, fun stuff to share with them, because some of these here, these drawings have made it into my regular work that I've different, like actually this illustration here, this bag was, I lost it. This bag, Time Flies, I ended up using as an illustration in the magazine that I work for, that I do at Wheaton College. And so this was just an idea from way back, and it had to be still in my head when the idea came, when we were talking about something with time. And I did the illustration, and then I realized I did this as a bag once, and I found it. So in 2014, these bags went viral because I had tagged them and all, and Gizmodo found me. Then the Flickr did a feature on me, and it just kept going and going. And people coming to my site, coming to Flickr to look at them. There were days where I had over 1 million views on my bags on one particular day, because they're just fun. It's me being a parent, just like all the rest of you. That you're a parent, you want to do something. This is my note to my kids, and these just like fun stuff. So when I finish my last bag that I did for my daughter, the last week, I asked her what favorite bags, and I did the same thing with my son. I said, what were your favorite bags, so that I could redo the favorite ones. And the piano, so I did a triptych of a piano, and that, here's the three, and there's the three together, because my daughter plays piano. We love donuts, and that was a donut one that she loved. But I finished with a chicken and a Sharpie marker, because that's how I started out, with a chicken and a Sharpie marker from day one, which is up here in the corner. You could see the evolution of my style through these two particular ones. As I got to play around with the Sharpie markers, I found that you could that they smudged really well. While they didn't dry, they dry quick, but they didn't dry that quick, where I could actually go right into them and smudge and make gradations with them, and move the color around. And it was just a lot of fun, just over the years, just finding out what my materials can do. At one point, I also got a little environmental, I guess you want to call it. These are plastic sandwich bags that get thrown away, and for a time I did some bags on these they biodegradable bags, and they had like a little green tint to them. This is one of my favorite, slug with a fez. And it was pretty cool, but I found other bags, but those other bags you couldn't see through you couldn't see through them, and I needed to see through them because these bags all have it's the bread is all part of it. The bread's like my paper, the kind of paper, and the bread has inspired me at times. Just the shape of the bread, or like I used some little some round breads before. So this is like I'll look at it's a pie, because with pieces taken out of it, to like a slice of Italian bread that I made to look like the side view of a bag of a sandwich. I love these cans. So these are some of my favorites here. So it's little robots, robots, monsters, crazy animals. Because this is the morning before Groundhog Day. It's just a lot of fun just trying to come up with these here. But then there are times where here's one where I used the bread bubble. Is the bread bubble here? So I would see the bread bubble and I'd get an idea. So this one here, look, I had the idea of my singing Kritzel. I call it these characters. I call Kritzels. That's a German word for doodles. And then I got a couple of times I've been able to play around with animation with the bags. So these are bags that I did after doing them for my kids. So I had a little more time, and I was able to do like this. This here's an animation of the campfire using, it's the same bread. I just put a different a sandwich bag on each time, and just took a picture and then just made it be as an animation. Here's my other one. I do like the yo-yo one I did. Get back. All right. Again, it's just a 3-frame animation. So, of course, you have to see this here, and it is a lot of fun. And then I tried one of 2 hands clapping that I thought was kind of cool, but it kind of goofy fun. and then as I got on with, I also like to be able to do things in like I'm into a little bit on anamorphic art and making things look 3D a little bit. And well, this here I just wanted to make the sandwich look like a hamburger, a cheeseburger rather. This is a little 3D one I did. So it's like I'm reaching for the tiniest ice cream cone ever. But it's all drawn so it's stretched out, and I just angle my camera down and to take the picture. Same thing with this lollipop. It's just a lot of fun to do, but it's like it's almost like I try to challenge myself in the morning, and when these work. I tell you that I jumpstarts my creativity in the morning. When I do a sandwich bag like something like this one here, I'm going into work like on a high, on a creativity high. It's like I came up with this idea, I cranked it out, took a cool picture with the fork, and then just like, okay, gotta go to work, and then it just keeps rolling the rest of the day. A lot of fun. Is one of my sandwiches where I make it look like there's a hole through the bag. I like to have, I've done a few of those. I'm looking for some of my worms. So whenever there's a hole in the bag, I don't have a worm there. I'll have to show you my latest worm. So so there was this cool looking hole, bread bubble, and so I made this worm coming out, and then I also made it look moldy, and so this is like the perfect sandwich to leave out somewhere to make sure that nobody's going to go and eat it on you. So I did do a bag today, and this is today's bag, and if today happens to be National Fast Food Day. So go out and celebrate by getting some fast food, hopefully at a local fast food place, locally run. And then as I've gotten into doing these bags, I started to do some videos of them. So I have a friend who has wow, there we go. So I have a friend who has a local television talk show on cable, and we did what's on the bag. It's I ended up drawing a rebus, and of course I speed up this image, and then we just try to have them guess what's on the bag. So when this gets done, you'll get an idea of what it can be. I was looking at it the other day and I was like, what is this again? And then when this happens, I realize it's bird's eye view. I did a bag the other day on, it was, I think it was pizza day. And so this was a bag done just the other day. And what's good about this, once I film it, I realize how long it takes me to do when I get more involved in a bag. And so this one here is like an 11 minutes it took me to do the bag, but because this is all sped up to be just under a minute. But you get to see my process a little bit as I know I can make marks, and then I can go back in and smudge to get my colors. There we have it. So when I talk about what we do, like there's when I look at some of these bags, I see some stories in some of these bags. This particular one, you see this little character that's the monster squashed on. I had a friend of mine get a hold of me. Actually, a friend of mine went and did his own sandwich bag, and this was the character that he put on his bag, and he was like trying to be like me, and since we both are really good friends, I just my bag the following day, I called it "What Did I Step On?" and that's the character that he drew on it, and of course I got a good touche from him on that. the another lollipops, the double ones, and this one here was done. Yeah, so this was done for my kids. So this was done quick. And so what's kind of cool about this is I hadn't discovered the white Sharpie markers yet. And so in order to get a lighter color or a white color, I was using the silver Sharpie because they hadn't come out with a good white marker yet for on Sharpie. And silver worked really well, and it was able to give me my color I needed to make a white, which, you know, it looks kind of weird because here's the eyes on a monster here, but it was making do with what you have, and able to make the hole in this sandwich by putting that silver marker down and then smudging it with black and it just to make it. And then there was I can't find it. So during all this, during this time, my dad had passed away. Yeah, so this is a bag I did the day after my dad passed, and we used to fly kites in the in our backyard, and we would send notes up to the kite, and so we would attach a note onto the string, and then the wind would just blow it up to the kite. And this was like gone, only memories, and it was it's just the kites flying off, and I guess there was like and plus I was doing 2 bags of my this one, so this was my son's, and so I could tell because I could see lettuce coming out of it. But where am I? Let me get back to, let's see if it's, yeah, I don't have the other bag there. So we used to also shoot off rockets with my dad. So the 2 of them were going up in the sky. It was, it's what it is. I don't know. It was touching. It still touches me. They have some meaning to it. Some of these other ones are just so much just fun. Just oh, here it is. Here's my other one right here. For my dad. So I don't know where else I need to go with this. Maybe I'm going to stop showing my screen for right now. Get back here. Is there any questions or anything?
We do have some questions coming in too, but I don't want to interrupt your flow at all.
No, I think I'm ready for questions, I guess.
Right? Good. So the first question is, what did your kids think about it when you first started doing it?
They really liked it. They thought it was pretty cool. Since I hid it from them, like so when they were little, we would eat breakfast together. So I put a box of cereal in front of the sandwich bag, so I had a drawing on them. So it was definitely, I tried to keep it a surprise for them. But then that really only lasted about a year or so. But as they got into their lunch, they get into lunch with their friends. Their friends would start to notice that, hey, his dad is drawings on their sandwiches. And so over the years, they would a friend would maybe grab their lunch bag before as they sat down and open it up just so they could see what was in there.
Yeah, I love that. I imagine they would, did anybody ever give you requests like, hey, draw this today, or?
I had, so before my first request I ever got was for me to stop drawing pumpkins. So for like around Halloween, I started drawing like all like different pumpkins on the bags, like crazy faces on the pumpkins, right? So, but after probably like a whole week and then maybe a couple days, my kids, one of my kids came home and said, "Dad, stop with the pumpkins."
Another question is that somebody wants to know your occupation, and I do a terrible job giving people like the bios that you normally would read off, just because I don't want to be super formal, and I want to give you every opportunity to say who you are or what you're about or anything like that. So tell us what your occupation is. And I enjoy that Kimberly also says, if you're not an illustrator, would you ever think of illustrating a children's book? And it's funny because I wrote that note down too, that this would be a great story about how the bags come to life. And I just think you could have a whole children's series on these bags. But tell us what your occupation is.
So I'm a graphic designer, illustrator. I work in higher education in the marketing department at Wheaton College in Massachusetts. I do their alumni magazine and lots of other stuff from that range for for our clients across campus. And before I was at Wheaton, I was a newspaper designer, illustrator. So I did page one for small, medium, large newspapers in the New England area, and I did graphs, maps, charts, and illustrations, page designs, stuff like that. So yeah, so these bags, I started doing them my last year at the newspaper. So 2000, I'm trying to think. So yeah, 2008. I got laid off in 2009, like right. So I did just started them in like May of 2008-ish, and then I get laid off because there's this like really awful recession going on. Newspapers weren't doing well, and but I continued doing these sandwich bags at that point because I was home with like and I was able to make their lunches and eventually I got into my job, my position at Wheaton College. Trying to think what and yeah, I don't know. I do a lot of like, not only do I sandwich bags, I like to play around with anamorphic art. I like to play around with something that's called chroma art, which is like a 3D art that's just color, which is a really cool thing. So it's really, look up chroma if you don't already know about it. It's pretty cool.
I didn't know about it until I had spoken to you. Totally amazing.
I'll have to send you a pair of glasses. So when you put these chroma glasses on, the work comes to life. Like it just splits apart in the order of the rainbow, and it's pretty cool how it gets done. And it is a good project. I've done workshops for. I'm very involved with the Attleboro Arts Museum here in Attleboro, Massachusetts, and I've done a couple of workshops on chroma art where we have black paper and white paper and oil crayons, like the oil crayons.
Oil pastels.
And because they make some nice bright colors on them. And so with the colors on black, or if it's on white, it shows differently. It goes in a different order of the rainbow. And it's really cool watching the kids play around with it. put the glasses on and go, whoa. Go ahead.
Another question is, do you just use your finger for the smudging, or did you use a napkin or a tool, or did you just use your fingers?
I use my fingers. So when I come into work, like actually my hands, no, you don't see it anymore. From today's bag, I had, well, we're washing our hands a lot now. So they're all gone, the tips of my fingers, but I usually come into work with like my ring finger and middle finger on this hand is sometimes all four fingers have marks on them.
Smudge marks on it. Somebody also, this is a great question too, because I would be somebody who would want to have done this. Did anybody, were they able to use their sandwich bag as collateral to get like somebody's candy bar? Like, I'll trade you my sandwich art for your candy bar.
I've never asked them that, and they've never offered it up. So
my vote is yes, either that or somebody watched them throw the bag away and snatched it up. That's what I would have done.
Okay. I have go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, so the bags that I've done after I stopped, after my kids were in high school, and I was making them for my lunch.
Yeah.
And I'd come into work and I'd eat it, and I would just take the bag and I'd just seal it and put it off to the side. And I have a whole stack of them in my office, these bags.
I think it's a great idea for even like the holidays, regardless of what holiday you're celebrating, you know, to decorate your own little bag, put either your gift in it or candy or something, and give it away. I mean, it's a piece of art, and it's inexpensive packaging and way fun. I mean, and honestly, even if you put a note in there and you can mail it, like, that would be so stinking cool. Somebody also said, what if you don't possess any artistic talent? Ha ha. I'm giggling because this is from Bevan, and I'm guessing you really have more talent than you think. But I like that you say that you do it to jumpstart your creativity. So how would you encourage somebody to do this if they didn't feel very artistic?
Don't worry about what you just did on the bag. If I look back at my bags, I can always pick out mistakes. I can always pick out stuff like that, right? But this particularly is in the moment, quick, done, and just let it go. And that in itself is a good practice to have for something like this, because you're just making the mark. You're doing something, and the other part is like, if it's you to your kid, it's perfect.
Yes.
It'll always be perfect, because it's even if it's just a heart, or if it's a heart with you know, a note to it or whatever it may be. But I just happen to have, I've had a lot of people ask me that over the years about, you know, or say, you make us look bad. Your sandwich bags make us look bad. And I just say, well, if you've always put a note in your bag to your kids, and it's the same thing.
Yep.
That's all. It's exactly the same thing. And yeah. So if you don't think you have enough talent, I say you do have the talent, and just do it. It's fun. And
yeah, I always say start with something that you know well. Like, anytime I have to demonstrate something, I almost always demonstrate a peace sign, because I could do one, and I could do it fast, and I could do it without thinking about it. And so even if you took like the idea of the pumpkin, or like right now, something that had to do with Thanksgiving, you know, or a Christmas tree, you know, and just make it as simple as you can, smiley faces, that kind of stuff. So I agree. I say just do it. And I love the idea that it jumpstarts your creativity. Like that was, to me, that's one of the key takeaways from today is how do you jumpstart kids' creativity? Have them start every morning with some silly, fun, or epic sketch. I love, love, love the ones that you did on the day that your dad died, like the kite. Like, I mean, to see that lunch bag is one thing, but then to know the story that went with it, oh my God, that is fabulous and beautiful, and what a great way just to express yourself. So I love that. Another question, it's chroma depth, right?
Correct.
D-E-P-T-H? Yes.
D-P-T-H, yep. And go ahead.
And Debbie West, this says her mom wrote poems on lunch napkins every day, and I'm so sad that I didn't save them. Yeah, we don't, because they're magical. You know, we don't think about that when we're young, but I bet you no doubt that your kids are telling other people about the lunch bags that you created. And no doubt when they have kids, if they have kids or anybody else, they will do that for somebody else, which is super cool.
So I did tell them though. So when this was all going viral, I told my kids, I said, so if I ever let this go to my head, if I ever, like people kept calling me, they would say world's greatest dad, is what a lot of stories would have about me and things. And even
Right.
on the show The View, they
Yeah.
did a promo. They did a promo in the front of The View, the beginning of the show, picture of me from the video that I did at Flickr. And it says, find out why this man is the world's greatest dad. And
Right.
and so I did take a screenshot of it and show him back then. But then I also said, if I ever really think that, you guys hit me. That's
Right.
all. Bring me up.
No, you definitely are pretty cool. That is for sure. Also too, do you know the website for Chroma Depth?
It should be chromadepth.com.
Okay. All one word?
I don't know if you, yeah, and or even just search chroma depth as one word, and that'll pop up. It is a chroma depth's really cool, and it's hard. I can't show it to you.
Sure, because of the glasses.
Unless everyone had their glasses on. And the only really drawback I find with chroma depth is two things. It doesn't work for people who are colorblind. And
oh, wow.
And if someone has all I can think of is like a lazy eye, like your eye doesn't line up properly. Well, you need that to be able to see any of those kinds of 3Ds with the glasses.
Gotcha.
And so they have a problem with it. So it's not like something that everyone can, but
right.
Most. And I found that there's a friend of mine who is colorblind, can see the chroma depth somewhat. You know, so through some of the colors. So
also somebody suggested this for decorating for recipes. I thought was good, and you obviously could do this on a brown bag as well. Somebody said that I did lunch bags and also drew on the napkin, which is very cool. Another really good takeaway that I thought was, I mean, like you were sort of saving it and documenting it in Flickr, but what a cool way to just log your work and save your work and have it, not have to worry about your own storage and cloud and all that kind of stuff. Like here, you can go back to Flickr and there it is. And I'm sure you're now documenting it on Instagram as well. David does have an Instagram account and it's in the handout. I also like it with, and I'm so glad Debbie West is joining us today because she's somebody that gave me the idea of art with a purpose, so that it is art for more than the sake of art, which this is just that. You know, your idea was just to share some love with your children, and then it became, you know, a thing. But again, nursing homes, or family members, or sending something to some veterans, or people that are currently active, to do some of these and put the the snacks in it, or even the letter in it, and sign it. I think there's some really cool ideas that you could challenge your students, and it can be, this is a project that is really inexpensive. You can get lunch bags all over. I did add the product on the handout just for ease, and because you can get a whole box of like 500 of them, and they end up being like 11 cents. But it might be something that people just have at home too. And often somebody does actually have a Sharpie at home. Two more things that I want you to talk about, though, is, so Sharpie actually recognized you for this, and Flickr actually sent you to, was it Italy?
To Madrid, Spain.
Spain, yes.
So what happened? So I started in was it 2007, 2008, and early on, Flickr. Sharpie saw, because I tagged Sharpie onto all the on all the images in Flickr. So they found it, and they happened to be at that time launching a new blog, and I got to be featured on their blog on their launch of their new blog at the time. And it was just kind of fun. And at that time, I probably had, I don't know, 100 bags going on there. No one really found me at that time. And it took a few more years for people to find them, but it's just that the popularity on Flickr, it just happened, right? So it just, because I just kept putting them up, and I kept made them public. And what you can do on Flickr is you can join groups. So I joined Geek Dads, which is these Geek Dads. They're part of Wired magazine, and they I would just post. I would just tag. I would put it in their group, certain sandwiches, so that here's.
I can see them on mine.
They would show up, and so once those guys, somehow they're connected with Wired magazine, but I ended up being featured in one of their things, but it wasn't until, I don't know, 2013, Gizmodo Food featured my bags, and my views on the bags started going up crazy. I mean, I probably had like 1,000 views on my bag up until that point, and after that, it just went up to like 100,000 like within a week, and then the Geek Dads blog picked it up because they were doing it, and then someone else picked it up, and then it just started going crazy. So there were times that I had people calling me, people emailing me about, can we feature you on there and all, and then Flickr got a hold of me. Oh, I know what it was. Flickr they used to do a thing on Fridays where they would have, I think they still do a Flickr Friday. They would pick a color, let's say, and they would feature photographers or artists that used the color green. And it was always pretty cool. It was something I looked at every now and then. It would always show up in the top right-hand corner of your Flickr. Then also one Friday, I look at it and I see those are my sandwich bags. They featured my sandwich bags up there, and I started getting like even more views. And then next thing I know, they they would do features on me, on some of their artists, and they actually flew me to New York, and I get to go into their studio and tell them my Flickr moment. And it's a pretty cool interview. I tried I couldn't find, I don't know what happened to the link is in my bio on my Flickr, but when I clicked on it yesterday, the video didn't pop up. I'll have to fix that.
Gotcha.
I had shorter hair then too. But Flickr's owned by Yahoo at that point.
Oh, okay.
And so
Will you turn my
Yahoo
mic on?
Spain and Yahoo Italy both had they were like the two largest groups of countries rather at the time that for Flickr sharing. And they wanted Milan and Madrid, Milan, Italy, and Madrid, Spain. They both wanted to do a show of my bags, and I would go to Madrid and then to Milan. Milan never happened, but I did get to go to Madrid, Spain, and show my sandwich bags. And they printed them all out and put them up on different sizes, and it was really cool just being there. And I actually did bags for people. I have I had a little slip in to put inside a bag that had a picture of a slice of bread. And
like my fake bread.
Absolutely. But it was a piece of bread I put on my scanner, and I scanned in, and I had a printer print them up for me. And so I would put them in, and I did bags for people at the opening, and for another time at another event at the gallery. And
very cool.
And all they would ask me and say, well, this is for nothing. I said, no, you make so I had them all make a donation to their local food bank.
Love that.
Here's a bag, here's this here, because I'm always for food insecurity to raise awareness for it. And so I was able to do that. And even Yahoo Spain threw in €100 right off the bat for the food bank there. But yeah, it was pretty cool that and that Yahoo and Flickr. So when it all went viral, I had PR people from Flickr helping me out with all the emails coming in and which blogs, which interviews to take. I've been on South Korean TV, German public radio, Madrid TV.
That is awesome.
Brazil, Japan. It's really cool. There's a lot of like really awesome people out there.
That whole connecting thing.
It is, and it's fun, and really that's all. I just remember someone's blog, they tried to say I was poisoning my kids with the Sharpie markers on a bag, and it was leaking in, and I didn't even have to respond to them. All the people on that blog that was following it, they all just said, "What are you, nuts?"
Well, and we actually did Maker Monday on the AP label, and you're putting it on the outside of the bag, and and so it's not going to permeate into their sandwich. The plastic is going to protect it. And so, but even if a little marker got on the bread, it, because of this AP label, it would say that, it will not kill them. Granted, you're not supposed to decorate your bread and eat it, but you're using it in the way that the marker is intended. So you're totally good.
Well,
have you ever done it on waxed paper?
No, I haven't, but before I did it on the sandwich bags, I tried using food coloring directly on the bread, and I would and so looking at what I had available in the kitchen, I just broke in half a toothpick and just worked the bottom of it so kind of like a little brush, and it would suck in some of the and then so I just tried it to see how it would work. I didn't want to ruin my good brushes. At the time, I only
Right.
had
I
good
would just
watercolor brushes.
imagine though, eating that sandwich, you would end up with like blue lips or green lips or something.
Oh yeah, but it was so hard. The bread, the holes in the bread, all that. It was just, I only did it once, but that was my idea. And then the next day, oh, Sharpie marker, I found it in the house. So like when you talk
Yes.
about what you have in the house, I had
Yep.
sandwich bags and I had the Sharpie, and that's really
Absolutely.
how it started. Um,
Oh, I had another thought. Oh, the wax paper. I will say that sometimes Sharpie and wax don't mix. Like if you try to use Sharpie to outline like oil pastels or something, it wrecks the felt part. So you might want to, take an older Sharpie and try it on the wax before you do it, because sometimes those two things butt heads. Other questions that you have, we just have about 5 minutes left. I also wrote down, I loved where you cut the sandwich in half and then made it look like you stitched it together. I thought that was so good. Did I see a plunger on one of them? Because that, if it was a plunger, that made me laugh hard.
Maybe.
I might have scrolled by it too fast. Using the holes in the bread is genius, the little worms that come out. And you talked about sometimes people say that they're gross, but I think your worms are so animated that it's actually funny. Your creativity is outstanding. What else did I write down? I think that's all that I had, but we are down to the last few minutes. And so, David, I can't thank you enough for sharing just something that you did for your kids, but it is truly a work of art. And I am inspired by it. And I'm going to do some stuff at Christmas time for my grandchildren based off of it. So thank you very much for sharing. Hopefully everybody will share this out and maybe we can get you to go viral again, because I think the whole world needs kind of delightful stuff like this. Next week, we are back for Maker Monday, and it's going to be a two-part series, Altered Books. Melody Weintraub from Tennessee. She's a retired art educator. She's also the Tennessee Art Education Association president. Very talented artist. She's going to do 2 sessions. And so we'll list some materials in the description, but it might even be something that you want to watch and then bring some materials the next time, but it's a 2-part. So make sure to sign up. And even if you can't make one or the other live, you'll get the recorded version. Today's recorded version will go out in about an hour. We've got some new survey questions, so we would love for you to fill those out. It helps us to learn more about what you're doing, and so we love for you to fill those out. Nope, we've got that question. I was going to say one more question, but I think that we've got it. So, David, any final thoughts from you?
Just keep drawing.
I love the way you say drawing too. I could listen to your great accent all day. Well, that is my thought to you. Make sure to keep doing what you do and keep posting it, because you for sure are an inspiration. And for all of the art teachers watching, hopefully you've been inspired, because I can tell you, you are inspiring us. You're inspiring our children and the students that you have. And in 2020, that's what we need. So be well, everybody. Be happy and keep teaching art.